Hi everybody, I am so excited for topic this week. I think this is one of my favourite lessons that we've done so far because we're going to be creating dragon eyes, and I just know that you are going to make dragon eye art that is out of this world. So let's get started. Right, this is what we are working towards. We're going to be creating dragon eyes that are inside a dragon shell. So it's almost like the dragon nursery in our story where the baby dragons are born and where they hatch and they stay there until they're old enough. And we're going to be creating a dragon eye that could be living inside that nursery, a dragon egg, sorry. And these eggs are just hatching and you can just see their eye popping out. Okay, so it's a really good opportunity to get creative. This has got a few different steps, okay, so we need to make sure we're really following the steps and taking our time, and you've got a few days to do this task as well to really give it your best go. So just have a wee second to look at these amazing dragon eyes. And you can see I popped my one in there because I had to go at doing this, but these are other dragon eyes that a primary 4 class has done in Scotland as well that has inspired me to set this as our project. So I definitely think that we can do eyes that are as good, if not even better, than the ones in this picture. Okay, so let's take a look at our learning intention. What are we learning this week? Well, we want to create a piece of art which considers, which means thinks about, the visual elements of line, colour and tone. Now line means looking at curved lines and straight lines, and looking at light lines by leaning gently and dark lines by leaning a wee bit harder. Colour, we're going to be looking at choosing colours that really complement each other, and tone means looking at areas of lightness and darkness. So how are we going to be learning this? Well, I filmed a video and I've got some pictures of how I created my dragon egg, but there's another tutorial that I've also posted on YouTube, boys and girls. I made a video of me drawing an eye, but it's from quite far away, so it's not as clear, so I've put in the original video just in case you want to watch that as well, the one that I had watched to create mine. You're also going to be looking at those other pieces of work, so looking at good examples from elsewhere. Often we can get inspiration by looking at someone else's creation and saying, well, what bits do I like of that? What bits might I want to put into my art? We're going to be looking at different websites as well, and then creating our own dragon eye and dragon egg too, and really doing many different attempts. So one of the things about art, boys and girls, is we can't just give up. We want to make sure that we're doing our very best that we can do. And artists around the world, they never get it right the first time around. They never go, do you know what, that's just good enough. They keep trying and they want to make their art into the very best that it can be. Now, for my own dragon egg, and that's it here, this was my 3rd go at it. Can you believe that? So I tried 3 different times to make something that I was happy with, and actually in the end I'm really proud of this piece of art. So make sure that you do the same, boys and girls. Really take your time this week and really go for it and try and create the best piece of art that you can. Now, I know lots of people are a wee bit anxious about art. I know some people in my class get a wee bit nervous and they say, I'm no good at art, I can't do this. But boys and girls, I am shockingly bad at art. And I've managed to create this. I don't know how I've done it, but I know how important a growth mindset is. Okay, so do not give up, have a growth mindset and give it a go. So why are we learning about this? Why are we even doing this project? Well, we want to create a piece of art that will form part of a collection to be displayed to others. So primary 4 and primary 5 are going to come together with these dragon eggs and we're going to put them all together on Padlet, and then we're going to showcase this to other teachers and other boys and girls in the school, and I'm going to be asking them if they can leave feedback for us. Okay, so really we're wanting to show off this art. It's going to be on display. People are going to be seeing this and they're going to really like your eggs. I know that, boys and girls. We want to be successful learners who build on prior experiences. So primary 4, I know that you've done line drawing before with our Wally projects, and primary 5, I know that you're all fantastic artists as well. So building that prior experience, what do you already know about creating dark lines and light lines and choosing colours that really work well together? And we also want to deepen our understanding of dragons of our topic. We really want to find out a wee bit more about our topic. So how are we going to know that we've been successful? Well, we're really talking about the actual eye element right now. And boys and girls, this video might take a wee while, okay, to get through. There's going to be many different aspects, so you might want to come back to it every now and again when it comes on to the part that you're on in your project. So for your actual dragon eye, you want to take your time. You want to use wrist and arm movements to draw curved and straight lines, and I talk about that in my video that I filmed of my dragon eye. You want to lean heavy and light to create different line types. So if you lean heavier, it's going to create a darker line, and if you lean lighter, it's obviously going to create a lighter line. You want to use tone to create depth and show areas of light and dark. And you want to choose effective colours based on colour wheel theory. And we're going to be looking at that as well. So, step 1, drawing the eye. And here is my eye here. Now, boys and girls, you can watch the YouTube video and the tutorial video on YouTube to find out how to create this eye. And as I said, this is my 3rd go. So please do not be disheartened if you find this tricky, okay? Just stick with it and do the best that you can. Right, step 2, adding colour to the eye. And in this picture, you can see that there's a colour wheel. Now, colour wheel theory tells us that colours that are opposite each other contrast and are complementary. So say in your dragon eye, I've chose 2 colours. I've chose red and purpley almost, and a green colour. And the reason I did that is because green is opposite the red and the purple. Do you see that? So that's complementing that colour. Now, there's also analogous colours, which are colours that are side by side in the colour wheel, and they also go well together. So you can see from my eye that I've chosen red for the inner part, and I've chosen purple for the kind of scales around it. And that's because red and purple are analogous, which means that they also go together. So just take some time to look at the colour wheel, and I've uploaded a really good link that describes colour theory a little bit more, and think about how you're going to choose colours that really go together. Now you can see here in my picture, my sketch, that I had actually looked at the colours together that I was thinking of choosing before I coloured in my eye. So I was leaning heavier and I was leaning lighter, and I was really experimenting with different shades and different tones. And I checked that I was happy that the reds and the purples went together, and it also went with the green that I was going to colour in my egg. So there's a wee bit of planning as well here, boys and girls, that you need to think about before you colour in your eye. So let's look at some other boys and girls examples from other classes. You can see that some people have went for very warm tones, other people have went for cooler tones, and this really is up to you, boys and girls. You do not need to do the same colours as me or the same colours of the ones here, but it's really just to give you an idea and some other examples to take inspiration from. Okay, so once you have made your eye, you're then going to go on to creating your egg. So we're learning to add depth and make our art more appealing by creating texture. How are we going to learn it? What are we going to do? Well, we're going to have my tutorial. I'm going to show you step by step of what to do. We're looking at other pieces of work, and there's also the websites as well that I'm posting too. Why are we learning this? Well, we know why. We've just went over that, okay? It's to be successful learners. We want to bring all this art together and really, really make it look effective as part of a collection. How are we going to know that we've been successful? Well, you can justify, which means explain and give reasons for why you've chosen your different colours. You can tear or cut pieces of paper into scales, which you can see in my egg, that are of similar shape and size. And you can apply the paper scales using glue to create a scale effect for the egg. Okay, so let's look again at what we are working towards. Now, you can see, boys and girls, that the other boys and girls who created these eggs have taken some different approaches. Not everything is the same. You can see this person has chosen two different contrasting colours for their egg. You can see here that this person has chosen to concentrate one colour towards the bottom of their egg and a different colour to the top. This person has chosen a kind of shimmery gold tone for theirs. And for mine, I chose two different shades of green, and I put my lighter green around my eye and my darker green around the edges of the egg. But it's totally up to you. This is just for some inspiration. Okay, so hints and tips. You can use paint, you can just use coloured paper for your scales, you can use pencil, pen, anything. Whatever you have, it's entirely up to you. Just think about your colour choice. What colours are going to contrast with and complement your dragon eye colour? Okay, so what egg colour is really going to make your dragon eye pop? So the first step when you're making your dragon egg is to get your equipment ready. You're going to need a pencil, some glue and some scissors, and obviously some paper as well. Now, step 2 is to draw your dragon egg, and here's a video that I filmed to explain how to do that.
Okay, so boys and girls, you want to start off by creating an egg shape that takes up most of the page, and you want to use your line drawing skills and really use your wrist to create this shape. You want to hold the pencil about halfway and you want to create some curved lines. Okay, so I'm going to start off down the bottom and come up to the top of my egg. Okay, and the best thing to do is move the paper around to create this oval shape. I'm just going to fix the bottom a little bit because I'm not entirely happy with this bit. There we go. I am happy with that, and I'm just going to go over it again and make it a wee bit darker so I can see the outline more clearly. Okay.
Okay, so the next step to do is to colour in a sheet of paper. Now on my paper, I decided to do half of it a light green and the other half a dark green because I wanted two different shades of green. You then want to cut or rip it into strips, and then you want to cut or rip the strips into squares or rectangles that almost look like scales. Next thing to do is then to stick the paper onto the egg to resemble scales. So you might have them overlapping and it should look quite rough, quite 3D, like the texture of an actual dragon egg. After that, you are going to, and this is where it gets a little bit trickier, you need to poke a hole in your egg. So before you stick the eye behind it, you poke a hole in it with a pencil and try and ask for an adult's help for that bit, and don't have your hand behind it when you do that. Then you want to stick the eye behind, so you can see that I've stuck my eye down, and after you've done that, you're then going to peel back the paper, as you can see here, to make it look like it's bursting out. Okay, and you can see the effect here, it's almost quite 3D. And once you've done that, you then want to colour in the bits of scale around the eye, all right? Now, once you have finished your egg, and as you can see, boys and girls, it's a big project this week, but I hope you're going to enjoy it. We're then going to be assessing, well, what went well with our work and what could we do better next time? So we're going to look back at our success criteria. We're going to be looking at other people's work in the class and really reflecting on our own work as well. We want to be confident individuals who can recognise their strengths and think about, well, what would I do next time? What could my next step be? You'll know you've been successful if you can identify at least one thing you did well and one thing you could improve upon for next time. And you're also going to be peer assessing one other person's piece of work, at least one other person. Okay, so let's look at some example of self and peer assessment comments that you could use. You may say, well done, you have used complementary colours that work well together. Fantastic work on the scales, they are all consistent in shape and size. I really like the detail in your eye, it looks very realistic. Or it looks like you have drawn your curved lines with a lot of control. Now, boys and girls, the good things about these comments is that they all relate back to the success criteria, which is the best way to give self and peer assessment. You might want to give some next steps to yourself or to someone else. You might want to say, next time, think about how you can make your scales a bit more consistent in shape and size. You might say, next time, think about how you can choose colours that complement each other a wee bit better. Or next time, try to add some more detail to your line drawing. But boys and girls, just remember to keep these comments kind, okay? So it's constructive feedback and you're putting it in a kind way. Alright, so boys and girls, that is everything done for today. I know this is a lot, so you might want to watch it back, okay? And just pause it or play it at the parts that you're working on. Remember that the videos are there as well to help you, and I honestly cannot wait to see these dragon eggs. I am so excited about this. I think they're going to be incredible, and it's a really exciting project this week, okay? So really give it your all. Thanks so much, boys and girls, and bye for now.